Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this Spellbinders card making project. In this project we're going to be using Light Shine. Now this is a set from the Cool Vibes collection designed by Stephanie Lowe. In the set you get both rubber stamps and the coordinating dies. Now you don't have to use the stamps with the dies. You can use the stamps as a standalone product if you want, or you can coordinate them with the dies. So everything I do use I shall put on my blog. If you've got any comments or questions, please ask me on my blog or on Facebook, because I can't reply on YouTube. So that's what we're going to be using from Spellbinders. I'll try and remember as I go along the products that I have used and tell you, but if not, as I said, they'll be listed on my blog. So that's our Spellbinders items. Now we're going to start off with our base card. This is a 6x6 inch card and I'm going to show you how it looks on our cardometer, and you'll see that it's just short of 6x6 inches. My little bugbear of they don't make 6x6 inch cards actually 6x6 inches. So my camera's just auto-focusing on its own, but that will give you a perspective at home of the size of card that I'm using. So the first thing I'm going to do, as always, I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure I've got a nice sharp edge along the side of the card. So we can do our inside first. Now our inside is a little bit different because we're going to kind of create it away from the card and then pop it into the card when we've done it. So what I've done is I've taken a piece of white cardstock, and this cardstock fits the inside of the card, and I've used the dies from the range to cut out sections from the card layer that I've created to fit the inside of the card. Now I know you're looking at this and you're thinking, oh, that looks a bit odd, Anne-Marie. Well, it does, but it's only because where I've taken the die cut pieces, I've made it so that the die cuts are going to fit into the die sections. So we can inlay it and we can make it so that it fits basically. So what I can do is then insert the die cut into the hole or the aperture that we've created, and then I can trim it along the edge so that it fits. Now the die cuts that I've made, I've used watercolour pens, watercolour pencils with them. Now I'm looking at the back of mine because I've just made a few marks on mine so that I know which way round they're going to fit into the aperture. And you'll see that the tape I've put on the back covers the holes that I've die cut. Now this is only for the video basically. I've done it this way so that I can show you how they slot in, because I'm trimming the edges away. At home you'll be able to pop them in and put tape over them on the back and then trim them. So it would be a lot easier at home, but I'm just trying to show you the effect that you can get, and it's just another way of using your dies and stamps. So now I've put the two edge ones in, I'm going to peel the tape away from the back, because now I can pop it in to the inside of our card, because I've got tape over the inner sections and it'll be a lot easier for me to fill those in. So I can peel my tape away, and you can kind of see what I mean about putting tape over the apertures that we've cut, and then at home you'll see where you'd be able to slot yours in and put tape over it. So it just kind of looks a bit strange the way I've shown you, but you'll get the effect. So now I can pop this through the centre of my card like that. Press that down. So now I've still got 3 apertures, and in the 3 apertures I've got 2 of the smaller floral stamps that I've die cut, and so I can put these in my apertures like that, and then hopefully that one will fit as well. And then the last one is for the sentiment that's on the sheet, and it says let your light shine, and I think that's really fun and positive. And then that is our insert complete. You've still got enough room to write your to and your from and a little message, but it just looks really fun and colourful when you open it up, and it'll match the front perfectly. So now we can create the front, and again I'm just going to use my bone folder to make sure we've still got that nice sharp crease. So for the front, the first layer that I've created, I've used white card and I've inked it along the edges in 2 different colours, and these were a nice orangey, like a burnt orange colour, and a citron colour. So watch out for a video coming up soon about ink pads. Maybe in the next week or so I'm going to do a special about some ink pads and a product range that I've just been using and trying it out, shall we say, and it is really, really fun to work with and really nice. So look out for that, but I can't say when it's going to be because I've got to put the video together and prep it and everything, so maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I've inked the edges, and one thing I want to point out about my inky fingers, in the centre, as I was inking them, the edges, I've got inky finger marks in the centre. Now some people would think, oh, I'm going to have to throw that away because I've got ink all over it. Well, you're not going to see the centre, so don't worry if you get inky fingers in the middle, because you're covering this section over, so it's not a problem. I do try and use a piece of kitchen towel or something to cover the centre of things, but unfortunately my fingers were just too inky on this occasion, and I got covered in it as well. So we're going to put that into the centre of our card to make our first layer, and I think the effect from the ink pad, the 2 colours, looks really nice, really different. Now our next layer is just a piece of white card, nice square, that's going to cover up the centre. I've tapped the edge with a black ink pad so that it will give a slight contrast, just as just for effect really, to make it look as though there could possibly be another layer underneath, but it also just draws the eye in a little bit. So we'll pop that through the centre like that, so you can see just that black edge, and it just neatens it up a bit, I think. So next what we've done is we've taken the largest stamp from the sets, there we go, and I've used black permanent ink, so I've used a Stays On ink pad, because Stays On is my favourite for doing the outlines, because once you start colouring it in, it doesn't run, it doesn't spread. So those are the 2, that's the stamp, and that's me stamping it and colouring it in. I've put it on 3D foam, and I'm going to put it in the centre of our card like that, and just pop it on. And then I've stamped 6 of the smaller stamps from the floral. Now these stamps can be used together to decoupage each other on top, because if you notice, the large stamp and the small stamp would fit over the top of the middle of the large stamp. I hope I'm, you know, being clear. But on this occasion, what we're going to do is we're going to add these 6 smaller floral stamps just at the edge of the large stamp, like so, to elongate, I think that's the right word, the image in the centre. And now, to me, this is just personal, I think it looks a little bit like a Catherine wheel, and I think it looks so pretty with the colours. There we go. And these have been put through the Xyron machine for the adhesive on the back, and I just want to point out that putting them through the Xyron, it won't affect the colouring that you've done, or if you'd heat embossed them, or if you had embossed them, anything like that. You just put it through the machine and it clings adhesive at the back, and you peel the top layer off after splitting the seal between the item and the layers. I've done videos before where I explain about the Xyron, but it will not affect any colouring or anything you've got on the top. So I'll just put the last one underneath that petal, and that, believe it or not, is our card finished. Now, it's something a little bit different. I think the colours are superb because they just stand out so well. And for a card that's needed for positivity, or to let somebody know that you're thinking about them in maybe a hard time, or if they're having a difficult time, this would just work perfectly. Stands up well on its own. You won't need any extra padding or anything in your envelope, and it's just such a gorgeous card. And this set of stamps, I think, is just so versatile because you can use them in so many different ways. Please check out my blog because there's so many other projects on there. This is the year of my share, so please feel free to share any of my videos, including this one. And I do love hearing from you. I've had some absolutely amazing messages this week, and it just makes my heart so proud that if I inspire one person, then, you know, I've done what I've set out to do. So thank you so much for your support and your messages and for watching. And I think you're all just the best crafters ever. So thank you, and I shall see you next time.